Hello, hello. Let's get that sound check done real quick. We have Perceiver backstage. You know, he's like a 5-time visitor to the channel, been to 3 or 4 of my meetups. Yeah, man, I don't know what it is about Joel. He keeps getting all in my business. Audio's pretty good. It should be. I haven't had any difficulties. I've been going live in Cypher, live in Underground. I've been spending a lot of time in my other communities. I'm going live twice. We're doing power sessions this weekend, Saturday and Sunday on in Cypher. We're doing a whole lot of back testing for NFL. We just did Super Bowl predictions. Yeah. Oh, we have a new system being implemented this weekend. We have so many Cypher videos that are going to be shared with the underground community now. There's going to be a special section where all the live videos from Cypher can be seen, so you guys can see what we're doing in Cypher. And then the Cypher community is going to get to see the Chat Tuesday live videos. We've got those building up now. So there's going to be an exchange of live videos that each community can check out. Oh, shoot. Audio's excellent. Awesome. What are you doing, man? What are you doing backstage?
Good to see you, man. How's it going?
I'm great, man. I'm awesome. You look great. Yeah, I know you were just telling me backstage that you done made that move. Yeah, you Sun City.
Yeah, it's so good to be in Los Angeles. There's actually a big Freedom family on Telegram. There's a lot of people in LA, so a lot of truthers out here. Then we all team up and sort of communicate on Telegram, so you get to know kind of the lay of the land. But yeah, just being on the beach, staring at the ocean, jumping in the ocean. It's been really nice.
Wow. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to come visit you pretty soon, man.
Good, man.
You know, I'm always wanting to go to San Diego to visit Paul, and he's always holding boxes of books aside for me.
Cool.
So you know what? I'm probably gonna make it that way. I don't know anybody in Los Angeles that I know of.
Yeah.
I'm not. Both times I went through Los Angeles, it triggered me because of the traffic, but I just got the hell out. Dad and I, last time I went to Los Angeles, I was with Dad in the van.
Yeah.
And we got the hell out of Los Angeles and hightailed it all the way to Bakersfield.
It's definitely, when you're traveling through, it can slow you down. But once you live here and you know the timing and where to go, that's not too busy.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have that alternative lifestyle. If you're trying to do a 9 to 5 out here, it would just be terrible.
Yeah, I get that, man. I get it.
Yeah.
So what you been doing since last time? I've been busy as hell. I have not just been busy, but something happened in my field, and I am receiving more information and making more connections than I'm able to process. And I'm about to get it all out because it's taken about 12 recent videos for me to put pieces together. And all of a sudden it all came together, and it blows my mind. And on Friday, I am about to unleash on about a 3-hour presentation that makes sense of everything that's been going on since 2020, how it makes sense of everything David Icke's been telling us, even the crazy shit that I refuse to believe that I now understand. All this genetic testing on chickens and everything that's going on. The mask mandates now make sense. They don't even have anything to do with virus. There's a reason why they needed to normalize masks. There's a reason why masks are coming back. Listen, man, I figured it all out, dude. It is so effing crazy. I can't wait till Friday, man. I just can't give it away. I can't give it away. There's too many people waiting on it. And I can't have anybody anticipate me either, because when I put all this data sets together to show everybody what all this means and how it fits together. And yeah, man, David Icke has been instrumental in bringing to our awareness many of these things. And some of it I thought was just outlandishly foolish and crazy, although his other stuff is so good that I'm willing to overlook that. Come to find out, that dude's right, man. There's lizards everywhere. Yeah, man, he's right.
Cool. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, my shamanic teacher was connected to Credo Mutwa, and all their legends, the Native American legends, were associated with what Credo was talking about to David Icke. So David Icke would visit with Credo Mutwa, and, you know, he would teach him like the kind of the core essence of these interdimensional spiritual battles, you know, and like he claims that he was taken underground when he was a child and introduced to these beings that, you know, aren't human and stuff. So, you know, Toltecs and shamans say the same thing, that we share this place with lots of different crazy freakish, energetic creatures. Some are really dark and parasitic, and some are helpful. You know, like,
Absolutely,
yeah.
dude.
But yeah, man, cool. I'm glad you.
I
I can't
haven't.
watch.
I have his book. I haven't
Yeah,
read it yet. It's on my long list of books I need to get into. But that Credo Matwa, what is his name?
Mutua.
Mutwa. I have his book. It's pretty large. But I haven't seen the David Icke and Credo, so I don't know what you're talking about. But I can only imagine because I know where both of them are coming from. So
Yeah.
I haven't been down that rabbit hole yet. I've been dealing with tertiary fields, parthenogenetics. I've been looking at a whole bunch of different rabbit holes that I didn't think really were connected. And then, my Nemesis X chronology, I've been working on that for 25 years, showing people. And then these new bombs that have been dropped on me, books I'm reading about gamma radiation, what it does, how it affects different things. And as soon as I saw that, everything clicked into place. I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly what they're preparing for. All this conditioning since 2020 is to prepare for a single event coming in the future that's going to change everything. And all this mass media psyops, everything is in preparation for this single event. It's amazing, dude. It's just absolutely amazing. And I need to shut the hell up. I just need to be quiet right now.
Cool.
Man.
Yeah, dude. I believe it, man. You've been really accurate, and you've helped change a lot of people's understanding of what's going on, and it makes sense that you would be working, or you'd be being worked with even further. It's like once you start to open up your field to be able to receive this stuff, you become a cleaner link, or like a conduit in that respect. So the stuff just pours in, and the more you become capable of handling the intensity of it, and the way you deliver it, it's humorous as well as daunting. It's a good balance, man.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's a crazy world we live in, bro. It really is.
Well, wait till you understand Castaneda. That's the whole
I already know. I even put it in the chat. I said, y'all watch. Joel's got a life mission. I put it in the chat before the video. I said, Joel has a life mission. He's been to almost all my meetups. He's been a guest speaker 3 or 4 meetups. He's been on the channel 5 times, and he has a mission to turn me over to Castaneda.
Well, the hard part about that is you'd almost have to be willing to eat mushrooms to understand the material. It's that weird. It's like it's meant for another part of us. And I think you did experience that other part of you when you had that accident and you had that altered state that you experienced upon, that's similar to what happens is like, so when you ask me what I've been up to, and I talked about this at one of the last talks, is I said, Jason's a doer and I'm a not doer. So a lot of what I do or not do is I move into trance states. I hang out in these altered states of perception all the time where like I get so quiet that the world starts moving. So like when I'm staring at the ocean, it's almost like I become the ocean.
Listen, you think you have to explain it to me, but I'm telling you,
yeah.
I fully grasp what you're conveying. One of my favorite authors is Lyle Jacobson, and he wrote a book that's very difficult to find now. I have one copy in my library called The Discovery of Nothing, and in that book, he specifically says, from a philosophical point of view, there is nothing to fill without a previous empty. And he's describing what you're talking about is going into that nothing space in order to receive.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, it's very healing for me. The longer I spend time in it, the more I feel better. Like there's like my system becomes liberated of heaviness from the past. And I'm coming out of a 25-year really dysfunctional marriage. And so I'm like healing tremendously because I was carrying all this weight that wasn't mine. And that's on me. It's not on anyone else. I thought that's what marriage was, that you just have to, do everything in your power to try to fix it. But yeah, to be able to now be in California in the sun at the ocean, and it's like my silence got so much more capable. So I practiced something called gazing I'll be staring at, like, I'm up here in Topanga, I'll be staring at the forest and the stones on the cliffs, and my eyes rotate. Right, this is why the Mayans would wear a piece of jade on their nose and keep their eyes crossed all the time. If you can handle the intensity, everything starts rotating. So I'll be staring at these like huge, beautiful views, and then I let myself move into the state where I'll start to see like castles out there, and I can see the details of the masonry, because like there's other dimensional layers that are available to interact with if you can stay in silence for long periods of time. So Carlos Castaneda walked on a bridge made of fog because the power of perception is so incredible. Like my elders would walk across canyons at night. They would sip whiskey and sing songs, and then they would stand up and walk right over the canyon because they couldn't see the gap. Therefore, there was no gap. Now, there's also people that try this stuff and end up dead at the bottom of a fucking canyon. So it's not something you would do recklessly. You would train for years to be able to have these experiences. But that's what the Castaneda books say, is they go into all that stuff. And that's why people think it's a work of fiction and make lies about him to try to discredit these simple perceptual things.
Well, I wouldn't doubt it, for the simple fact is, I mean, we already know the intelligence agencies have basically copied the program and weaponized it. You know, some of those shamanic practices, they just have a different way of inducing people to do remote viewing.
Yeah.
What is it? Astral projection, transcontinental meditation, and all that. I don't necessarily deny it. I just there's a lot of good research out there that talks about it. You just already know me. I have this barrier in me that just won't let me take drugs. It won't let me. I've ended relationships behind it being offered to me. It's just I can't. I have an internal panic when I feel like I'm about to lose control of my faculties, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah, man, it's all good.
I get it.
I mean, you know, like I was at breath work last night, and you do 2 inhales, one in the belly and then one in the chest, and then you exhale, and it's really fast. And all this, so like a few minutes in, you're so much oxygen in your body, like Wim Hof. You heard of Wim Hof? So all these people figured out this breath work. It's just as powerful as drugs. And I panic every time I'm about to cross over. So we all struggle with this. It's just in various degrees, but it's really healing. Emotions come out if you can handle writing it out. It like pops into some childhood memory usually, and then you're able to either like have a laugh or a cry or something moves in these altered states. So at some point in your life as you get older, you're going to move towards that. At death, all these experiences are revealed. It's the intensity of what we are, that shift of perception that you naturally, and it's good that you're avoiding. I mean, it's a safety mechanism. It's a survival mechanism, and it makes sense based on your background, because it is dangerous to move your perception. You could end up in a mental ward. People that aren't ready and try to push themselves to have these experiences can lose their capacity for the linear, and they become too non-linear. And I've tried to help a lot of friends that have done too much LSD and too many mushrooms and got so far out there that they became delusional and effectively what they call schizophrenic. But schizophrenia, for the Toltecs, shamans refer to themselves as functional schizophrenics. They learn to move their perception in the same way that schizophrenia is experienced, but they understand the territory. They go in there with the tools and the body of knowledge so that they understand what's happening to them, and they're not delusional. They are interacting with non-ordinary realities, and those non-ordinary realities actually have rules to go by. And so that's what Castaneda books are. They're a manual of how to enter into these states without becoming delusional or getting spun out or lost or thinking you're fucking Neo and you're the one that's going to fix everything. Because the program tries to convince all these spiritual people that they're special. And there's so many charlatans on top of that, that it's really hard to find people that aren't deceiving themselves or purposely deceiving others.
Man, I get it. I tend to view this, and I think you do too, as this is a multi-dimensional experience, and I don't perceive schizophrenia as being anything other than the natural. Our genetic code has this it has the programs necessary for the avatar to filter out all phenomena that needs to be filtered out. That's what the central nervous system is. It is a series of olfactory, auditory, visual, audio filters. Because if you were to hear everything out there in the range, you would go mad. If you were to see everything that's out there, you would have no depth perception, because you would be seeing in multiple dimensions and in different bandwidths of light, and there would be no way to really see what's far and what's close. Everything is just too populated. So the central nervous system is a filtering system. And I think these people that do the drugs and doing too much, it damages those filters, and they become used to seeing things that other people's filters have basically filtered out. But I don't think schizophrenia is seeing things that are not there. I think it's the opposite. I think they're actually seeing into the world more as it is, but the human avatar is not coped for that. When this spirit moves out of this avatar and we move into a different type of body, we will be better equipped to cope with other frequencies of existence. But this frequency we're on right here can only cope with so much. So those schizophrenics, I think they're seeing things that really are there. And
no, I agree. I actually, I'm in LA. I can go watch a whole network of them, and it's really fascinating to watch people. Just like I'm a people watcher. And
you and I could be on the beach. I'd have a little bourbon right there, and we could people watch all day, and I would have a blast. There's no doubt about it. People are interesting. Hell, I would even build up mental narratives as to why they do what they do, just for the fun of it.
It's cool, man. Yeah, no, but I'll be watching somebody and they're walking along and they're acting like something's tugging on the back of their shirt. They keep looking back at something, and they're like, and then they're talking to that something, and everyone's like, who's this crazy motherfucker? But I agree, there is something tugging on his shirt, because he doesn't have the shields to block out that we share this place with other beings. And then a lot of these other beings are, they're parasitic, and they or even trickster spirits. They'll fuck with you. Like, I've been out in the woods at night on psychedelics, and man, you can open yourself up to all kinds of strange shit, and it can get really dangerous, actually, where you can get tricked into running off a cliff, or they can't actually physically touch you or hurt you, but they can get you to panic and potentially get you to do something stupid.
You can react to stimuli that are perceivably real but not actually so. And I get it. Believe me, I can see how easy it would be to be into an altered state. And although your body is still at the campfire, you have done something that makes you feel like you're wandering over hills, going through all kinds of stuff. And then do that so many times that when you maybe mix whatever peyote or drug you're using at the time and mix it with a little something else, and you're doing it again, and in this state you're invincible, you're not going to get hurt, so you are jumping across crevices and you are flying off a cliff until you realize, holy shit, I'm still in my body. I thought I was floating. And then you're dead. Then you're dead. I get it. I perfectly understand how somebody can make that make that mistake by doing it, because I've been in altered states before, but it wasn't drug. It was stress induced, or it was adrenaline induced. I've told my community, I've been in situations in prison where I was singing as I fought. I don't even know why I was vibrating so high, but I'm fighting somebody in fist fights. I'm singing songs while I'm doing it. I'm vibrating on a totally different level than the person I'm squabbling with. But the altered states can be done by stress. It can be done by external stimuli. It doesn't have to be done by drugs. But well,
that was Carlos Castaneda's requirement, was that you couldn't work with him if you were doing any substances at all, because everyone that was showing up to his workshops were all like druggies, because his books are all about power plants, right?
Yeah.
So he was super frustrated. He wanted people that wanted to actually grow up and be mature, healthy adults that could learn how to, you know, reach these altered states through other means. And so, you know, you and I have talked about it: fasting, sleep deprivation. You know, these are very simple things you can do. They're dangerous as well, right? You could get these breatharians and stuff that are moving beyond their physicality in a way and having these breakthroughs. Andrew Kaufman said he's interviewed a bunch of them. They all have had terrifying experiences at some point in their journey.
So define for me, maybe my community is more educated on it than I am, but what the hell is a breatharian?
So if you sun gaze enough, you're getting direct energy without having to eat food. So you learn to just drink sunlight somehow, and you can move your perception. You could die trying. Some people survive. Like this one guy figured out how to do this, and then dumbass turned himself into NASA because he was so couldn't believe what had happened. So he said, "Look, I've been living off no food for 9 months now, or whatever it was." And so they took him in and were doing all these tests on him. But it's more common than you would think. Some people out there are pretending they're breatharians, though, and they're sneaking Snicker bars in between Instagram sets, so there's just kind of like, it's hard to find the real ones, but everyone that actually has figured it out has said it's been, or at least maybe not everyone, but the majority said it's really, really terrifying. It's at a certain stage, and you've gone too far away from food to sort of just all of a sudden go back to it. Your body's like no longer interested. So there's a lot of weird ways to get into these altered states, and that's one of the more dangerous ones.
So what is the connection to breath? Why would it be called breatharian?
Yeah, I mean, they refer to it as a prana, like pranayama, the breath, right? So as you're sun gazing, you're learning to control your breathing in a way that unbinds you from the internal dialogue. Okay. So the reason we have so many thoughts and are constantly in our heads, according to breatharians, is because we're kind of like caught in the illusion of a physical world. And if you learn to breathe in a way that helps you drop into deeper levels of silence, you can move what Castanet would call your assemblage point to a place in which you no longer need food. And if you can hold your position there, then you can do all kinds of things. So like Carlos went into a cave with Don Juan, and he experienced what he felt was 2 days of being in a cave. He came out, it had been 11 days. And he found that out by reading the newspaper, getting a newspaper. And he was like, it fucked him up. Like the shock that he went through when he saw the date, like really, really screwed him up, because he did not experience that kind of time passing. And that's kind of the trick with breatharianism, is you can go into these eternal states of intensity where like a day is like really, really long time. Or like on mushrooms, you can experience the same thing. Like my hair would grow in 6 hours. My hair would grow on the sides here, not on the top. My hair would grow much faster on LSD. It was as if my hair growth was like 3 days worth of hair growth in like 6 hours, because time is measured by intensity, not by the clock. And that's what Toltecs say, is that for them, their life is so intense that it's the equivalent of like 10 people's lifetimes, even though they live to the same age. So like we can sort of slow everything down and experience a much more nonlinear, eternal, expansive experience while still being alive. Breatharian's one way to sort of go there, but I think it's super dangerous and risky. There's other ones, like some people eat meat that has been rotten. They call it high meat, and it causes hallucination. and it makes you feel energized in a way that's beyond like carnivore.
Oh,
It's like the next stage of intensity as far as, so, and these people that once they eat this rotten meat, they prefer it over raw or cooked meat. Their body
wow.
starts to like crave it.
Wow. So there must be something addictive I mean, the decomposition. I don't know what that would be, but so I have a story about when you said talking about the breatharian stuff. So it doesn't really relate to it, but it is very interesting because it's an altered state.
Yeah.
So I spent my childhood in cross country. I was never fast, and my coaches learned very early on that I just didn't get tired. And it comes from being a little kid. I'm 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old. And we had the Bedford Boys Ranch, and it was miles. It was like 4.5 miles away from the house. But mom and dad worked, and they were gone. So during the summertime, so our parents knew where we were at. I got my sister Michelle and my brother Lewis, and they're both younger than I am. So for years, every day of the summer, I would run to the Bedford Boys Ranch because they only sell 100 tickets a day. And once you have a ticket, though, it's good all day long. So I would buy the 3 tickets, and I would be at the Bedford Boys Ranch. I'd swim and all kinds of things. And when my brother and sister would show up at the chain link fence on the outside, I would meet them and I would give them their tickets, and they would come in, and then because they would never get there. It would take them an hour and a half to get there. They just walked. Yeah. So anyway, they walked and piddle paddle, and often because they knew I always had tickets, they wouldn't even come early. They would just show up when they wanted to. Sometimes didn't even show up at all. But from this experience, I developed. I was able to. I just run along. I walk. I'm an '80s kid. All we did was skateboards, bicycles, and we walked everywhere. But I used to be a jogger, and I jogged everywhere. And I didn't think nothing of it. But one thing I noticed early on was after that 4.5 mile jog as a kid, it only took me about 5 minutes before I'm ready to get in the water and hold my breath for very long periods of time. And what I figured out later was all that running oxygenated. My heart was going, and it oxygenated the shit out of my body and my blood. So when I got to the Bedford Boys Ranch swimming pool and I relaxed for 4 or 5 minutes because I was in line waiting to buy tickets, and then I wanted to get a soda or whatever out of one of the machines, and then I go get our favorite little picnic bench, and I would set up my brother and sister's towels, and all our stuff is there. So by the time I went into the water, I remember how long even the lifeguards used to get on my ass sometimes because I could go to the bottom of the 12-foot deep end and just stay down there for long periods of time. And I just thought I was special. But years later, I realized I oxygenated the shit out of my blood by running for 4.5 miles. But I used to stay under there, and I used to get light, and I used to feel like I was floating in heaven. And I didn't need to breathe, and I would be down there for a long period of time. And I had some of those teenagers. They're, when you're a little kid, they're called the big kids. Every once in a while, I had the big kids jump off the diving board and come in there and rescue me, but I didn't even need to breathe. But yeah, it's crazy.
Man, that's so cool. Like I spent a lot of time holding my breath, not underwater, but just trying to hold it for long periods of time. But I do that aggressive oxygenation breath first and then hold. And the more I do this, the longer I can hold. So, I experienced that too. I've never tried it underwater. Our breath is that powerful. Like if we can, like, that's why Wim Hof can walk out in the mountains barefoot in his boxers, right? He's just out there because he's figured out how to increase, the more oxygen he gets in his system, the more he's able to do sort of what would be a seemingly sort of superhuman. And the only reason he discovered it was because he was in so much pain from his wife dying that he was trying to find the coldest, like he dropped into a glacier and like went down to the coldest part of the water in order to feel something because he was so numb.
Yeah.
And so that's his gift was birthed through his pain, as was yours. I mean, going to prison for a long time, you found a way to make it amazing, but there had to be some part of you that was like, what the fuck happened?
Well, of course. I woke up every morning. What the fuck? What am I doing here? Every single, 9,545 mornings I woke up like that. But it didn't take but one cup of coffee for me to get to reading, writing, researching, putting all my notes together. Yeah, the sensation never lasted long, but yeah, I woke up every single morning. What the fuck? No doubt.
I bet.
How did this happen? How did this series of events happen? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody's talking about my shirt.
It is a cool shirt.
It took what? It was oh my God, it was 33 minutes before anybody realized it. It was 33 minutes before anybody realized it wasn't Nike.
Right. That's cool. Yeah, I appreciate you breaking down, pulling us out of the Zachariah Sitchin story and just making it realistic, or giving us a realistic lens on that stuff. Because man, that was so forced on. There's so much. My teachers were so focused on making sure I read Sitchin that there were secrets in there, and I believe there are, but now that you've pulled us out of the wrong calendar and give it reality, it's just like, oh
man, listen, it would be so awesome. It would be so awesome because, like, on Friday, I'm gonna start with David Icke. Here's his books. Here's what he said. Here's what he's claimed. Yes, I kind of disbelieved it. Didn't really want to go down those rabbit holes. And in Archaix, I went this way. As a chronologist, I just left it all alone. I went this way. Now here it is. Like 30 years later, all my data sets are going right back to what David Icke initially said. Yeah. And it's blowing my mind. But I still have issues chronologically, such as Mr. Icke is a uniformitarian. He still talks of hundreds of thousands of years, dinosaurs being millions of years, and none of that's true. And it's all verifiably that dinosaurs were just really very recent. And we may have had a lot to do with the fact that most of them are not here anymore. It is blowing my mind, all the stuff I've put together now.
Wow.
But you're right. The Sitchin material is a chronological issue. Once you fix the chronological issue, Sitchin's material all makes sense now.
Yeah.
It's David Icke's would too. If he would just get away from that hundreds of thousands of years and understand that these reptilian elite here are talking about, and the juxtaposition of dinosaurs being in the dark ages, it all fits a perfect pattern as to what's about to happen and what they're really preparing for. And world events that don't make sense to us do make sense once you hear it in the context I'm going to deliver it on Friday. Everything makes sense now. If he can just get away from that hundreds of thousands of years and shit, man, we'd be all right.
Well, it'd be good to see you guys get into it. I know you denied one talk, but maybe in the future you could talk with them, because
I've never been invited to talk to David Icke. Okay. I was invited to go on Iconic, and some lady was going to interview me on Iconic and all that. And I wasn't feeling it, and it didn't resonate with me. So I just said no. So
yeah, well, and I think the heliocentric thing is a real hijack that people need to come out of too. Like, it's a real major hypnosis, and Icke is still, talking that way.
Hey, you know what? You can't blame him though, because there's no other model to default to but flat Earth.
Yeah.
But you have to give Icke credit on the fact that he is absolutely, completely entertaining and providing evidence for simulation theory, which is the bridge.
It's true.
So
yeah, man, I think that's more important than anything, is that we're in a holographic projected experience.
Absolutely.
And that's
if he doesn't come around, it doesn't even matter. But I know a lot of people in my community and a lot of people in his community are going to see this presentation. They're going to know, holy shit, this is it. This explains everything. So whether he comes around or not, it's a non-issue.
Cool.
But I've always given him credit. On my channel, I've always given him credit for being instrumental in waking me up. But whether he wakes all the way up to what's really going on, that's another matter.
Yeah, man. It's been great to see him try to point out to people, that Trump's not on our side. And, so it's been good to see that part of him too. He's been constantly like up in people's faces that are on the MAGA side. Cause it's just crazy to be watching what's playing out, and just,
hearing about it now, it doesn't really it doesn't really resonate. It doesn't hit as hard now, because now, like, you and I and everybody listening to us, we pretty much know all politicians full of shit.
Yeah.
But Ike was saying it while everybody was still on the Trump train.
Yeah.
When you know what I mean? Because even I was on the Trump train 5 years ago. Well, I mean, it was about 4 years ago when I started doubting, and about 3 years ago I started putting videos out telling everybody this dude's a fraud. He's just a part of the Jewish control structure. That's all he's doing. So yeah, man.
Yeah. No, it's I think there's not a lot of big names out there. There's David Icke, there's Alex Jones, these huge, but like Alex Jones is just, it's so, whatever's going on, whether they swapped his body out or just so many different things happen there, and it's just crazy to watch.
You know what? I haven't even followed. I hear people talking about it. I haven't followed it. I don't. It's I know the Bill Hicks, Alex Jones deal, but aside from all the tangential issues that people talk about with Alex Jones and stuff, I have to judge things by their effects. I say that all the time in my videos. No matter what data's out there in the field, we always ultimately have to judge things by their effects, because the effects will always show what the motive was, even if we can't see the motive until the event is over. So this when it comes to Alex Jones, he's now circling the things he said. It's like David Icke. It's like me not accepting everything David Icke said 30 years ago and 20 years ago and 15 years ago, because he keeps releasing all these books every 2 or 3 years. It's like, damn, now I'm coming all the way around, but I have to do it on my own avenues of research, with my own data, independent of anything that man said, because I'm hard-headed. I'm a hard-headed SOB, and I gotta find things out on my own. But with Alex Jones, is not the world exactly the way Alex Jones said it was going to be 12 years ago and 10 years ago? He catches a lot of criticism, but when I listen to him in fragments from time to time, it's like, shit, you called all this shit. So he and Ike have been at the forefront. He and Ike have been taking all the flack, and he and Ike, though, seem to be vindicated, because in 2026 we seem to be living in the very world that David Icke and Alex Jones told us we were going to be living into 20, 15, and 10 years ago. So I just have to say that. I do know this, something that happened really weird. You may know who this is. I've never heard of this person because I'm not really in the know. This guy here, I'm going to share my screen. This guy here popped. As soon as I mentioned the David Icke video that I'm going to do it on Friday, this guy started following me on X. Maybe you know who he is. It's a large account, but he seems to be connected to InfoWars and Alex Jones.
Okay.
Let me see. Share my screen. I took a screenshot. He started following me on X, so he's now seeing all my posts.
Yeah, that's Harrison Smith. So Mike Winter has talked to Harrison, and he was one of Alex Jones's main, presenters. So he was running wars alongside.
Well, I don't get notices from X. X doesn't tell me when people start following me unless their accounts are significantly larger than mine.
Yeah.
Like my X account's nothing like my YouTube account. My YouTube's huge.
Yeah.
My X account, I think I got 35 or 36,000 people on X, because it's just not the same venue. You don't get the same traction on X as you get on YouTube. But I didn't know who he was. He just popped up last night.
Yeah, it'd be good to have him interview you. He's a big deal. I mean, he reaches a large audience. A lot of
I was impressed that he's calling it like it is on Israel's war here, just taking out Gaza. It's not even a war. You can't even call it a war. Gaza doesn't have armament. They don't have rocket launchers. They don't have an air force. They don't have a navy. They don't have anything. So why you call it a war?
Well, it's all a psyop. Like, Hamas was created by Israel, and now it's just it's so crazy how these psyops and these ritual murders are justified. It's just all pre-planned. And you still have people on the Trump side saying that the reason the silver crashed was because he didn't go to war with Iran, and therefore Israel is manipulating the economy, and Trump's actually trying to save us all. And it's just like, fuck, man, They're gonna drag.
Dude, say it's a clown show. I actually laugh when I hear shit now. People tell me news events and all that. It's like, wow, man. It's like, it's become adult fantasy. This is the socially acceptable soap operas for dudes. The modern news. The modern news is all soap opera. It's all bullshit. I feel like I'm watching Mexican novellas. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. You know how the novellas were just like American soap operas, all in Spanish and all that. Everything's dramatized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Every pretty girl appears on the screen with some life-shattering dilemma. Every single episode, somebody's life is going to fall apart if everybody else on the cast doesn't get involved.
Totally.
It's crazy.
It's a crazy story to watch, man. I don't watch it too much. You know, I just tap in a little bit, make sure I'm, aware a little bit. But for the most part, I just don't need to know, it's like all kind of like psychedelic actually to be witnessing this stuff. And if you get caught up in any of it too much, it just hijacks your attention. So
listen, man, the tells are all out there though. It's like, so in my Cypher group, we're running date sequence predictive analytics system on all kinds of stuff. People are using it for crypto. People are using the software in different ways. And there's some very unique minds in there. We have people that are lifelong like IT developers. They're in there, and I've seen some really crazy shit how people use the software to do what they do for the things that they really want predictions on. And one of the things I would really love to do is, it would be awesome if there was a way that you remember the venue called beforeitsnews.com.
Mm-mm.
You don't remember Before It's News? They were reporting all kinds of incidents before they even came into the news. Well, with the NFL deal, it's really discouraging because it is so obvious now that it's all scripted.
Mm-hmm.
And they were bringing to my we were running Super Bowl predictions last night, and some of the guys in the chat brought to my attention. So I didn't know this, but it makes sense that at the beginning of the NFL season, the NFL had already posted a promotional photo, and in that photo, it had all 32 quarterbacks for the NFL.
I saw it.
You saw that? And the two quarterbacks that the picture was focused on, the two that you could not see, just happened to be the two quarterbacks that went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right there in the front.
Yeah, man, it's all scripted. I mean, it's man, it's just so crazy. It just blows my mind. Everything is scripted. Everything's about masks. Everything's a psyop, and yet, no. While none of it surprises me, and while I'm not even upset about it, I'm just not. What tickles me though is how other people's reactions. It's like, why are you still arguing politics?
Yeah.
Why are you still emotionally invested with the ruler or the puppet that's ruling your country? The UK, Canada, Belgium, United States, doesn't even matter. All of them are puppets. None of them rule anything. They're just the face that all the emotion gets directed to. The actual people that are calling the shots are faceless and unknown. We don't know who they are. Yeah, man. It's like Henry Kissinger. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Henry Kissinger was the handler for 7 presidents, but he lived through 14 presidencies where he was in the White House giving directions.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Henry, by default, Henry Kissinger, the Jew, was the ruler of the United States of America for a long time. And every 4 years, we spent billions in elections just for the show.
Yeah.
Just the show must go on. Democrats, Republicans, Watergate, Nixon. Oh, we're going to shoot this guy because he's really an actor. He was never even really into politics. Even in California, he didn't do shit. Reagan. So we'll shoot him, but we'll let him live. And, it's all believable. It's all staged. It's all script. And there's still people in 2026 believing that politics is real.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah. It's going to go on that way too. It's like, you can tell, it's like the people that watch WWF wrestling, some of them.
You better not be talking about my wrestling now, man.
Well, I was going to ask you, for me, it's football. So as long as the Seahawks are going to be scripted to win, everything's good because I'm from Seattle. And
Yeah, well,
looking for.
You know what? I would like to say that you are correct, but I'm gonna have to say we didn't see a lot of evidence of that.
Okay, shoot.
Three different guys looking at it from three different perspectives. And you know what? But at this point, when it comes to the championships and the Super Bowl, yeah, man, the scripting becomes more and more real. So in Cypher, it was blowing our minds how accurate we were week after week after week after week. But toward the end of the season, that accuracy, some weird shit started happening, and we noticed it instantly. And it went into the championships. And so if that's, I mean, it looks like toward the end of NFL season, we are absolutely documenting in Cypher that they are scripting these games.
Sure.
Toward the end of the season. They didn't do it in the middle of the season. In the middle of the season, our prediction rates were fantastic. We were all excited. Toward the end of the season, we all started getting really highly suspect. It's like, man, they're literally choosing who's going to play in the championships. And then at the championships, it looks like, man, they're literally selecting who's going to win, who's going to be the two contenders for the Super Bowl. Yeah, man, this is what the arithmetic looks like, and it's really damning. But you can't do nothing about it because the NFL is entertainment.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't do anything about
it. Supposedly, one of these Epstein drops. I don't know what Epstein is or isn't, but it says you got to get the Kansas City Chiefs. What the fuck's going on? The Chiefs have to win because we need Pfizer boy to promote the vaccine, and that's Travis Kelce was the Pfizer guy showing his Band-Aids on TV. And so Epstein was yelling at somebody in an email that we got to get their shit dialed in and get them to the Super Bowl just to promote Pfizer.
Yeah, well, see, that tells me that, and this is what I've told my Cypher group as well. So guys, it comes to the point where you have to look at this from a different perspective. They want you to see this as sports competition. And they want you not to notice that they're rigging these games because the legal implications, which nothing's ever going to happen because in my opinion, it's my personal opinion, man, that the world's a captured operation, and I can only call what I see. I don't see hidden hand. I don't see hidden people, hidden figures. I don't see anything hidden. What I see is what they let me see. And I see the Jewish controlled power structure runs the entire publishing industry. They run our governments through lobbies. The ADL is cranked at billions of dollars, man, just trying to prove that the Jews are not running the world. Whoever heard of an agency doing that? That's all they do. That's all they do is crank out publications and documentaries showing, no, we're not running the world. Huge expense account. And then, I mean, they run all the major platforms, all the biggest platforms, Jewish controlled. So I'm like, damn, I got to call it like I see it. I'm not going to be a liar. So, the sports industry, all these teams, man, find out who the owners are will blow your mind. Who owns the sports agencies will blow your mind. Just like Hollywood, all Jewish run. So I have to put all this into proper context. I can't ignore all that to say NFL is fair. So it becomes something else. If it's not fair, and if it's not truly the outcome of the teams playing each other, and somebody's guiding these things, and yet every single NFL team has billions of dollars riding on it because there's 200 different sports books, and there's hundreds of thousands of people moving money through all these sports books. So if you're plugged in with somebody like Epstein, who knows who's going to win on a certain game because he can send an email and say, hey man, you better make sure these guys win. So this guy here can promote a medical agenda because he's been promised that the $2 million that he bet on an underdog is going to turn into $40 million. You understand?
Crazy
nobody paid him.
Right.
Nobody paid him. He won it through a gamble. You know what I mean? It's untraceable other than the gamble. And you have to first prove that the NFL's rigged or that team was rigged. He turned $2 million into $40 million and then started promoting Pfizer. So it's no longer gambling.
Yeah.
Once you really look at what's going on with the NFL, it's money laundering at the highest level.
Yeah, and they say that it's a cover for human trafficking. Like the Super Bowl is a ritual day, and that like all these things happen. You know, I don't know if that stuff's true, but somehow under the cover of big events, you can get a lot more. You can make big moves in one day and transfer lots of people. I don't know. I've heard some really dark stuff about what goes on, you know, on certain days because of the power of, and that's what I think. So I think sorcerers run the world, you know, that it's actual rituals that are being performed in our face as a means to create the energy needed, you know, in order to continue sort of the extraction of energy that they get from being able to have power over so many people's minds.
Yeah, man, I agree. Tony made a good comment. Tony's been following Archaix for a long time. He's been a part of the community. Tony made a good comment in here talking about the basketball games. I've seen the video footage where some of these basketball players are dribbling down the court. They jump in the air, and then as they're about to do, you can literally see their arms stretch, their hands get longer, their fingers get longer right before the ball gets dunked in the deal. People have showed that film down. It's like, did this dude just shape change in midair as he was dunking a basketball? There's a lot of video out there that shows these weird little nuances and stuff, but it can all be dismissed, just like me. I'm real adamant about that. I'm always dismissing things. If the only evidence you have is visual from a picture, a photo, or video, and you have no other attenuating evidence to support it, I dismiss it. That's been my habit in Archaix. So many people trying to show me things visually. I just tell them, sorry, man, I can't go with it, dude. I'm a numbers guy, and of anything visual, like the whole Tartaria narrative, it's 100% visual. You know what I mean? And then it's not just visual, it's visual plus whatever interpretation is being foisted upon you on what you're supposed to be seeing in these pictures. So I'm like, I just can't go. I can't go with it, man. But yeah, I have seen what Tony's talking about. I have seen those video clips.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's like a lot to the way in which people like, you know, they have these, supposedly they steal Native American kids and try to turn them into super soldiers. They like do MK Ultra programming to try to get them to tap into their magical side, their sorcery side, and they deprive them of sunlight and deprive them of affection and test them and break them down. I think athletes also go through some sort of really intense, you know, programming of hypnosis, just like rock stars and Hollywood people have their, you know, they have their second and third names. Like Eminem is Slim Shady, you know, like all these different people, like Kobe Bryant had his secondary alter.
Yeah.
These are famous, these are people that have so much influence on the world. And so there's a lot that I think that goes on behind the scenes to create these super athletes, these super actors, these whatever super soldiers even.
The super soldier phenomenon is not new. It's not new. And the one of the earliest accounts I know of concerns the Janissaries or Janissaries. I don't know how to pronounce it, but in the Crusades and in the wars of Christianity and Islam, yeah, it was really sad because the Turks had enslaved the Slavs and so many other Europeans, and they would sell the boys at a young age to Arabian taskmasters, and those Arabians would take those Caucasian boys deep into Saracen territories where they had these elaborate fortresses and camps, and these boys were run through some bullshit. These boys were toughened up. They were only taught Arabic. They were only taught the Quran, and they were taught warfare. They were taught how to kill with every type of weapon, how to kill with their bare hands. All they knew every single day of their lives was how to fight, defend, and kill, and to hate Europeans. This is what they were taught. They were European boys, but they were taught to absolutely hate Europeans, and they were brainwashed into all these narratives that were untrue. So
Mhm.
by the time a regiment was ready and they had 2,000 or 3,000 of them ready, they were marched to the front lines, and they were the buffer between the Christian knights, the Christian white European knights, and the Saracens, who were Arabs. And on the battlefields, it was the Janissaries, the front lines. So the Europeans had to kill their own children in order to get to the enemy.
Jesus. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man. This is all true history, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing what you can do to someone if you traumatize them enough or brainwash them to that point. I mean, these suicide bombers like doing it for religious reasons. That shit's intense, man. That religion is so powerful. I was in a really free thinking community on X, and I like went away for like a year, and I came back, and some religious sorcerer dude had come in there and turned them all Christian, turned them all
Wow.
into religious programming. It was like, and then so then I all of a sudden was I was possessed by the devil for what I was saying. It's like they all turned on me and tried to convert me. But
Yeah.
it's crazy to watch how powerful programming is, especially in times of uncertainty. People want to cling to a savior, like a Jesus figure, a Trump figure, Kamala, whatever people think is going to save them from what's happening.
Yeah, man. It's a mind fuck. There's no other way to say it. There's no other way. I mean, the more we learn about history and the more we apply it to what's going on right now,
Mm.
I mean, I'm so convinced. I'm so convinced that we must be more important than we think we are. We must be we must be extremely important for this level of deception, for
Mhm.
the amount of money, time, and resources implemented in creating a falsified version of reality in the world. Who in the hell are we that we it is so critical to deceive, because whoever the deceivers are, they're not able to eradicate us, because if that was the case, they would have done it.
Right.
They already have all the money. They have all the military industrial complex. They have all the resources. They've had all the time in the world. So why isn't the whole world enslaved? What benefactor force is out there protecting us? And who the hell are we that we are entitled to this protection? Because we have it. I know for a fact we have it, because I'm sitting here on my property, a free man, talking to you about it right now, while a bunch of people are listening to it. About 20,000 will tune in the next 2 days. So
Yeah.
I know there's a benefactor force out there.
Mm.
So it just makes you wonder, man, who the hell are we?
I agree, man. I think there's a divine spark in us, and if we can keep our innocence, it's even more powerful. If they get you to compromise yourself and corrupt your spirit, then they kind of conquered you. But if you can die with your spirit intact, it's meaningful, And so this obstacle course, I think, like you said, it's not meant to like for us to get a revenge on these people or something. It's not like that. It's just a place for souls, to be tested in a sense as to whether they're willing to be, keep their purity intact. And if they can't get us to make decisions, we're so powerful that unless we make the decision for ourselves, then they don't have the right. And that's because forces rise to meet each other. So that benefactor, there's like rules to this game. And I think once you understand that, you can figure out how to become a servant of this of power rather than a slave to power. And it's still a relationship with power. And we are, going to continue to be tested. And there'll always be opportunities for us to figure out what we're really made of, especially in the future. Things could look really bleak at periods of time. And that's where your ability to create your own reality tunnel, like you speak of, is really discovered. It's kind of easy at the moment, but if it gets more difficult, we're going to become much stronger in our understanding of how powerful our perception of self is and how that insulates us from, the fear that there's going to be out there to try to pull us into panic.
I agree, man. I agree. This is this whole entire experience in the personal. I think there's two experiences going on simultaneously. One of them in the personal, we're just immortals temporarily wearing a piece of the construct, moving through the construct in the acquisition of more divine principles that are applied to us personally. But in the collective, I think we're in a massive holographic escape room. And I think the puzzle is the Great Pyramid. Mm-hmm. And this is the two main focuses of my research. Who the hell are we? The highly personal, informed field. And then we got this thing sitting in Egypt that seems to be the key to almost every single ancient mystery. All the traditions are attached to it. Chronologically, it's like a roadmap. Well, it possesses all the calendars. So I have to think that on a personal level, we're coming in and out this field in avatars and experiencing different vantage points, different races, different cultures, different financial backgrounds. We keep coming in different genders, male and female, and to acquire all these experiences in the personal. But in the collective, this body of souls we call the human race, I think this whole entire construct is an escape room. Wow. And I think the key lies in Giza.
Well, it's fascinating. The Toltecs referred to these pyramids and sacred sites of power as fixations of the second attention that were designed by sorcerers. They're like reality, like that these, and so they would say to be very careful as a shamanic practitioner to go into these places because there's lots of energy there. And these old sorcerers are still alive in some layer of the onion, and that it's like a spiritual battle that we're in. It's based on reality structures or, control programs. And so Don Juan would try to advocate to Carlos just how complex sorcery can get and just how wicked. And so he would probably have a negative view on this escape room, that like we're not meant to be like there's something out of balance about the situation we're in, and that if we could unlock the secret of perception, then we could, move into these other layers of the onion functionally without becoming deranged or schizophrenic. So that's what I think the Mayans were able to do, is co-dream, practice moving into other layers of the onion for many, many years. And then they were able to do a mass exodus through the psychedelic nature of perception, not necessarily some sort of technology. It's like we are the technology. We just don't realize that as perceivers and beings that are capable of moving from one holographic projection to another. And that's the point of the Castaneda material, is to show us that we can, if we need to, do what the Mayans did. We could exit stage left, so to speak, and go hang out in another layer of the onion for a period of time if need be, and then even come back. So it's not just physical, like bunkers and underground shit. There's actual other systems available.
No, there's no doubt in my mind. It's like the old Native American. What do they call? What do the young braves do before they actually got out? They were named by the community. Give a vision quest, right? It was yeah. They went on a spirit quest before they got the name assigned to them, or their totem animal was assigned to them. Yeah, in a vision quest. That's what this experience is. We're going through this experience. Yeah, we're gonna pop out. If we're assigned a totem, if we're assigned some type of totem when we go through this and we pop out, I'm pretty sure mine's going to be like some elaborate watch that's got all kinds of chronographs in it, all the different little chronographs and all that. That's my little timepiece. Yours probably going to be a mushroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Very different forms of intelligence. Totally, man. Yeah, no, that's what Toltecs say. We're in a vision together. This is a vision, and that we could bounce from vision to vision to vision. And the goal of the reason they do this work is they believe that if when it comes time to die, that they can enter into eternity and not recycle back into another incarnation. If they do enough work, then the afterlife opens up, and you don't just go there for review. You go into the review and beyond, and then you can have a greater effect on what's going on in the construct from outside of it. And that there's a lot of beings that are trying to help us from outside the construct. There's also beings that are higher on the food chain that are feeding off of our luminous energy. Toltecs say most people don't have their energy. They're just being fed off by forces that they don't understand. And so that's why they're all Agent Smiths, because they're just controllable. They're kept alive.
Yeah, you're describing dungeon programming.
Yep.
Yeah, participants in dungeon, in my model, participants in dungeon programming, it's their activity and their energy that is fueling the feedback loop.
That's it.
And that's why it's a self-perpetuating, dungeon, and it's very hard to get out of it. You got to break pattern just to get out of it. And it's so easy to gravitate right back into it or into another species of dungeon programming. So in that theory of Loosh, I can agree with. Yeah. I can agree. Now, I did hear something interesting, because I was under the impression David Icke's soul trap theory was kind of something I'm not going to entertain at all. Mm-hmm. But I did hear a quote of his talking about he can't be trapped. So evidently he's my whole idea of dungeon programming and the highly impersonal soul that you phase back and forth between the personal and the collective. It seems like that's probably exactly what David Icke was talking about as well. Because if he's going to claim that he can't be trapped, then that means others can't be trapped as well. And it must be by belief, and that the Loosh only applies to those who have entered stages of dungeon programming.
Yeah, so that's what I think. It's not appropriate to call it a trap, because it doesn't entrap everyone.
Yeah. So right? I get it. It's just the whole model of being given a decision after death is like, to me, it's weird. And
sure.
To me, I have to make things make sense, such as I'm living my life right now. Whenever I die, I die. Which death to me is nothing but an exchange of avatar. My consciousness will continue, but I'm going to move into another avatar. The reason my consciousness right now cannot remember who I truly am is because I'm wearing a skin that belongs to the constructual programming itself. I am confined in the construct itself, not only in the over construct, which is my environment, but my very body is made up of the holographic programming that makes up the construct itself. So there's an interface. My soul is using as a skin, a piece of the construct itself. So I don't have any connection to that memory. And memory is holographic. It's in the field. I don't have any memory. I don't have that. I am jacked in by virtue of the central nervous system, and my memory is only as pertains to my informed field inside the construct. But when I'm no longer attached to this avatar, I'm going to remember who I am, what my identity is, and all the things that I just went through are going to have relevance. And I think that the only thing that's going to be paid attention to once I exit this experience is like Jesus's golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Because if the golden rule is the only rule, then that means on my next trip in, my very next trip in, I am going to be born into a situation that's going to cause me to suffer the very things I caused others to suffer. Mm-hmm. And in that situation, I'm going to receive all kinds of blessings that I bestowed to others in that life. So when you see people that have a super badass life today and everything's going well for them, and they basically were born with a silver spoon, but they're not dicks. You meet these people. I've met wealthy people, and they really surprised me. Damn, you're not a conceited, stuck up, stick in your ass bitch. I'm really surprised. You got an awesome personality, a great way of describing things. You communicate awesome. You're very humble. You're very generous. You're really surprising. It's because we have these predilections. We have these preconceived notions of how certain people are, but that's not how the real world is. I've met wealthy people, and I'm friends with wealthy people. They're the coolest people in the world. So it makes you wonder, what kind of person were they in their last incarnation that this incarnation, they got everything.
Yeah.
You understand? So That's how I feel it's going on. And then after a while, there's going to come a point where, I mean, the reason the golden rule is that way, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, because judgment isn't a place where you go stand before a throne. Judgment is the very conditions in the next incarnation that you will suffer or enjoy as how you lived in the previous incarnation. So by the time you exit the construct, you do with you're more mature, you have developed character, you have done all kinds of things that a true immortal could never do outside the construct, because you don't fear death. There's nothing that scares you. And without any type of perennial fear, there can be no development.
Oh man, that's amazing. Yeah, dude.
Well, I mean, that's just the way I feel reality really is. And I feel that we can, that whatever's going on here is perceived. Yeah. It's not really real. Even all the evil and all the stuff that's going on, it's I'm not convinced all the evil that we are told through the media is true.
Right.
And the reason I say this is, Joel, if we've already proven by observation and experience that we're not being told the truth on the media about even local events, much less international events, we're not being told the truth about the markets. They're tightly controlled. You know what I mean? All the fluctuation. We weren't told the truth about crypto. Yeah, they sold that and a whole bunch of people bought it. They sold that like it was going to be an independent financial deal. You can get involved. Governments are never going to be able to regulate this. Man, governments own that shit now. Now come to find out that Bitcoin was probably created by the CIA. And Satoshi is nothing but a fall guy who doesn't even exist. And is just a cartoon character that the intelligence agencies are hiding behind, because they're going to pull the rug out from Bitcoin. Mm. So when we find out that everything is untrue and everything Hollywood's all fake, the news is all fake, NASA has never sent anybody to the moon, it's all fake, all that money's going somewhere else. CERN isn't smashing atoms, they're doing something else with these gigantic facilities. When we find out that the wind turbines don't do exactly what we were told they were going to do, they haven't saved any money, they've been a tax burden, and we can't even dispose of the materials because they're toxic. So they stack up all these broken turbines, and then they bury them in these facilities, and it's ridiculous. So if every single thing in the world we've been told so far is a provable lie, like the uniformitarian model and the age of the dinosaurs, everything, if everything is a lie, then why are we actually believing all the shit that's being reported about all the evil in the world as well? I'm not saying evil doesn't exist. I'm saying, are they exaggerating about all the heinous shit that they report all around the world? Could that be a part of the apparatus of deception too?
Yeah, that's what I think. Like Shiva Shampoo we were talking a long time ago, and he was like, Epstein's not what people think he is. It's just a fucking story, right? Like, it's just part of the theater. And so they want us to think that everyone is a cannibal, that's in these positions of power, that everybody's corrupted to that degree.
Or everybody in positions of power have been blackmailed because they slept with underage kids.
Right. Yeah. It's not likely the case. That doesn't mean they're not blackmailed, compromised people for other reasons. It used to be like gay stuff is how they would compromise people. And I'm not saying there aren't pedophilia going on, but we're in a time where we're getting blasted with stuff that's so fucking dark on the storylines, that it can easily make a lot of people kind of lose it, and it makes us more vulnerable to more control mechanisms. So all these things that are happening on the world stage are just so well designed, across the board. And it is a really powerful form of theater and suggestion and sorcery. But I agree with you about, another way of saying that the golden rule is to say there are no others. We are all one. And everything that's going on, we're all extensions of the creator. And therefore, we're all here to gain experience that then benefits the creator force. And the reason pattern breaks are so powerful is energy is lent to us by that same extension of, love through those that do something different and new. because that's how we evolve, is through coming out of predictability, and then when it comes to these fixations of the second attention, the fixations of mystery, the pyramids, the control, the way in which they control linear time string structures, all that sorcery, it's what the Toltecs say, it put us in an eddy. We used to be traveling and we used to go from one place to another. We got stuck in this particular version of perception. And then because we're not travelers of awareness like we used to be, we're magical creatures of attention that could go into these other visions and bounce from vision to vision into other worlds. And then for the Toltecs, there are alien worlds, but they're not out there. They're interdimensional. And so our ability to realize that we share this place, like with the Sasquatch and different beings that can shapeshift in and out of different physical and non-physical places, so it just opens it all up, and you start to realize that if we stop paying attention to the projections of evil or projections of good, then we are no longer bound by those storylines. And as long as whether I'm going to enter the afterlife and stay there, or whether I'm going to recycle and come back, either way, there's just as much work to do. Because like you said, if I want my next incarnation to be good, then I have there's all this work that I can do in order to become clean, in my actions. I can apologize to some kid I bullied in high school. I can pay back the dude that I stole his weed from. I can make things right, and that is meaningful. So like when you're really aware of that, you start to value, you come out of materialism and you're more focused on a spiritual path, because this place is designed to hijack us in the material way, in a materialistic way. And that, money, like you were saying too, it's like Hollywood makes it seem like money is evil and that only billionaires that are evil have money. And therefore we end up in a scarcity mindset because we identify with being good, and therefore we don't accumulate.
Isn't that interesting? That's some nice reverse psychology there.
Yeah.
No, man, all the billionaires, they don't ever report anything good about them.
No.
You're right, man. It's crazy. That's almost Marxist, because in the Marxist doctrine, which was communist, which was Jewish, one of the things that they wanted to impregnate the European mind with in the 1800s was the idea that wealth was evil, while at the same time the Marxists were all rich. They're filthy rich. Yeah, man. So crazy. Such a clown show, man. Such a clown show.
It's gangster. It's all
money's just energy. And I want to answer this because it's important. I don't want anybody to think we're avoiding it at all. So I can't find the comment, or I put it on the I can't find a comment anymore. Somebody asked about Shiva shampoo. So I'm going to tell you about Shiva shampoo. First of all, I consider him a dear friend. He's been a guest. He was a moderator here for a long time. He was a guest, and I don't take anything from him, but he's been convicted. And this is what happened. Shiva shampoo took a drug on a commercial airline. And a lot of people do that. And this particular drug is legal across the United States, mostly, except Texas. Don't come to Texas with that shit. But a lot of states, this particular plant is legal. But the small island that Shiva Shampoo's plane landed on, they check their passports, they go through all their luggage, they have no income. This island has zero income except for tourism, and that it's a stop in order to get to further places like Bangkok, Thailand, Southeast Asia, Australia, New Zealand. So his plane landed, and they did a routine check of bags, because this is how this island makes their money. Mm-hmm. They write tickets. and they write tickets for any contraband that you have. And on this island here, weed, certain prescription medicines, sex toys, all kinds of shit they've made illegal on that island, but you won't know until you land. And it's and you're just stopping to change planes. and they go through everybody's luggage because it's a racket.
Yep.
Well, they went through his and they found what that little plant he had in there. So they took his passport and it forced him to stay on the island. And then they gave him a court date like 6 months in the future. So now he's forced to stay on the island for like 6 months. He had to rent a place. He had to get a place. The whole time he's got a wrench and he's in the chat, but only a few of us know what's really going on. Then in the Telegram group, we come to find out it gets really dark, and he chose to do something lawfully, although there was a plan. I'm not going to name any of the players, but there was a plan where he was going to get off the island by boat, and he was going to make it to the mainland, and then they would deal with passport issues and all that stuff later. He'd stay on the mainland for the rest of his life if he had to.
Yeah.
But instead, he stayed there, and officials, when the officials that are on the island that were prosecuting him found out that he was attached to people in the United States, and he's Canadian. Shiva Shampoo was from Canada. So when they found out that he was attached to people in Canada that cared about him, in the United States that cared about him, and in Thailand that cared about him, they tried to shake him down. So they basically hit up the community on Telegram with like, hey man, you send us $5,000-$6,000. We'll see what we can do. And other people started reporting that, hey, it's a total shakedown. Other people have paid and nothing ever happened. It's all bullshit. And the last I heard that was he was convicted in the Maldive Islands.
Yeah. Oh, so heartbreaking, man, because I talked to him right before he went in, and he said, if I don't come back, it'll be 25 years. Like, if you don't hear from me in a couple of days, it's gonna be gone for 25 years. And man, it's just like such a fucking incredible. I mean, and he had a chance to leave, but he didn't want to leave the cats. Right. So like, he's such a good-hearted dude. He was willing to like sacrifice so much just for the cats that he was saving. We were all like, feral cats that he was taking care of. Man, I had some really good talks with him right up till that point, and just sending love to Shiva, man. It's a really difficult situation.
Yeah, I had received an email and it was really suspicious. I received all kinds of guarantees that, look, man, all it is getting the money to the attorney, and it just sounded so suspicious. So I just told dude, I said, hey man, do me a favor, man, and what is Shiva's full name? And he couldn't answer me. He didn't email me back, but he was trying to shake me down for $7,000.
Damn.
And yeah, it's corrupt over there. But I don't know how long he has to serve on a 25 years. It's not 25 years. I don't know how long he has to serve on a 25-year sentence. Most countries, when they give out like when I got my 30-year sentence, it was only expected that I do 7 years. That's what the law. It's called the 70th legislature in Texas. And when you look up 30-year sentences under the 70th legislature from 1990 to 91, it'll show you that the expected term is 7 years, which you have to serve on a 30-year sentence. So that's why they gave these super high sentences, because it guaranteed that you would serve the minimum, which was 7 years. So then you get out with good behavior or whatever. Well, that never happened with me. You guys know my prison record. I didn't have any good behavior. So that didn't happen. But anyway, with Shiva, I do know this, and this, you guys can quote me in the future, but with Shiva, as soon as we find out he's released or whatever, I'm doing a fundraiser. I don't care how much my community donates in the fundraiser. It'll be public so everybody can see it, but I'm also going to be providing, I'm going to be putting a lot of money in that fund as well so he can start over, because that's some bullshit.
Yeah. Oh man, that's beautiful. Yeah.
That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
Dude. People smoke weed in the United States every single day, and it's legal. It's legal. No, totally. It's just stupid. It's all financial bullshit over there.
Oh man. Yeah. What a trip. Yeah, he's had a crazy life too, man. Shiva's got some stories to tell, so it'd be good to, now he'll have some more. But yeah, he spent some time in India living a crazy life, dude. I got to learn about some of the things he was doing in India, and he's a funny man. We had long talks. And Mike Wilkerson and Shiva were talking quite a bit too, Stellium 7.
Yeah.
So all
Oh,
three
he
of
was a moderator for a lot of it. He was like a male version of Pamela Swan.
yeah.
She got blue ridges across the spectrum.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
been at it too. He used to work on Amanda Vollmer's channel a long time ago when she started hers, and so he knew kind of the dark side of Amanda. Like,
Man, how dare you mention that woman on my channel, man? I'm so unimpressed with her.
It's too bad, man. It sucks when people buy into lies, and yeah, there's a few people out there like Marty Leeds and some people. I don't know if he's still saying shit, but
I don't
it's
even care. It doesn't.
yeah.
None of it affects me. None of it even matters. Hell, I just got 5 or 6 emails from J Dreamers. Oh man, this dude took off on me. I mean,
Well,
if you guys knew what kind of guy this really is, and if I was to let you read these emails, it would blow your mind. But I'm gonna tell you now, I'm not a piece of shit. I'm just not. He sent me those emails in confidence. He
yeah.
admitted to doing things with law enforcement against me, and I told him, I said, I'm not gonna share the emails. But he totally just admitted everything, turned around, called me everything but a child of God. Literally went off on the emails talking about everything is justifiable against me because you're a whole ass rapist. He just went off. I have the emails right now. They were just sent to me less than 3 days ago. And I shared them with Big John. I told my Cypher community about it. But these are the type of guys that are on social media being judgmental of other people, trying to present themselves as spiritual, but behind the scenes they are absolutely demonic. They are toxic. But that's Jason Tice. That's J Dreamers. He's the worst. He is absolutely off. He's mentally off.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, man.
crazy.
It's crazy to watch. I think there's going to be more and more of psychosis to watch. People are going to lose their shit, and there's a lot of bullshit. People have been lying to themselves even about who they are. So it's like, if you don't know yourself, then you don't know what you're capable of. And somebody can fucking trigger you, and all of a sudden you find a part of you that you didn't know. So
yeah, man.
You exposed his shit. I've done the same, and I go into these like Reddit communities, and
say whatever happens to you in Reddit, you signed up for that.
Yeah.
You know that.
It's funny. Yeah, it's crazy. I just, I expose egos. I expose people that are lying to their audience, and I call them out, and I offer to challenge them, on a Zoom or whatever, where everyone can watch. And then they just kick me out for life. I'm not allowed. And then they make lies about me without any chance for me to defend myself, because they're all just in their little Reddit worlds. They don't come out of it.
Yeah.
It's a weird world in there.
Well,
sure.
I mean, somebody did a documentary on Reddit and why it was originally founded. And yeah, man, it was a whole intelligence op from the very beginning to hijack a whole bunch of narratives. Listen, I tried. I released some awesome material into Reddit, but it wasn't like when I released stuff into Facebook. Facebook kicked me off twice. Now the second time for life.
Yeah.
And several people who tried to log on to my page on Facebook were notified by Facebook that you are attempting to communicate, or you are attempting to contact with a known dangerous individual. So and I can't even defend myself. I can't even get on Facebook and say anything. So I got all kinds of people in the community that are on Facebook that now regulate all that, but still they won't even let me get in there and just tell people, what the hell are you talking about? So Reddit was the same way. I thought I was going to do some good in Reddit. Man, let me tell you something. The bot armies attacked.
Yeah.
There was I got the hell off Reddit. Yeah. I'm totally admitting to you right now, I turn tail and run. Yeah, man.
Yeah, sometimes you got to admit defeat and just take your licks and your losses, man. It's a crazy place.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. Andrew Yawn, whatever, is asking, I'm gonna put his shit on here. I would love to know, Jason, your theory on what Epstein narrative means for society. And if it is not entirely true, what is the point of running the story for such a long time? You remember a lot of things happened in 2020. And one of the main narratives that unfolded in 2020 was everybody's preoccupied with a virus that could be killing everybody. And when it first came out, a bunch of us knew, man, there's something bullshit about all this. But the scare was out there, and we saw a lot of people were saying, well, this is the new normal. This is what's going to happen. These lockdowns, this is how they're going to take over the world. Whether you believed it was a real virus or not, it was a real scare or not, everybody was on board with believing that this was a huge power move, being able to lock down, stop travel, shut down airports, do all this shit. So while this was happening, most of the major news events just kind of slipped through the cracks. Because in 2020, the Fed started locking up these pedophile rings, all roads were leading to major Hollywood actors and actresses, and these leaks were coming out in 2019, 2020, 2021. So a lot of them, people cross-reference with the Epstein flight logs, the flight lists, and then the Epstein deal had already been blown up. He had already been convicted of child trafficking in the past. But the problem was, many famous people like Oprah and others, man, had steadily gone to the island even after he was convicted. So more and more people started investigating, and huge Hollywood elites, it basically shows, man, that the program is very simple. If you're going to ignore that Epstein is a Jewish name, then you really have no business even talking about this anymore, because you'll believe in anything, any psyop, and any misdirection that the media is going to put out there. But you have to put things in their proper context. Epstein is Jewish. These Jews were blackmailing people to do their bidding in Hollywood. So if certain actors and actresses wouldn't play ball, they would expose them. A whole bunch of, you heard of the 27 club? Yeah, they were all killed. So there's many that do play ball, like Tom Hanks. I think he's half Jewish. But there's a whole bunch of them that didn't like what was going on, and they got Anne-heshed, including Anne Hesh, who didn't like what was going on and was going to expose the whole thing. And they got to her first because she telegraphed what her intent was. Mm-hmm. So the best way to minimize the damage on something that's really, really damaging is to involve the most people, muddle the waters, throw it out there for everybody to pick up so nobody knows exactly what's going on. So to protect the 3 or 4 at the top of the list who are probably raping babies, doing all this nefarious shit, sacrificing whatever, all the adrenochrome shit, to protect the big fish, they throw everybody under the bus and let the media and let the public cherry pick who they think is guilty and who's not by releasing doctored and redacted documents that give you enough clues. And then you add in other conspiracies, such as they were going to pull the rug on Bitcoin anyway. So somebody a few months ago had a good idea to throw Bitcoin conversations into the Epstein transcripts. Let's throw this in there right there. So now when we pull the rug on Bitcoin and steal everybody's money, we can always say it was this guy here who's already dead. So we can say it was Epstein. Now other political narratives for which they're very embarrassing will get suckered into. And the whole Epstein deal is going to get so out of control, and there's going to be so many rabbit trails out there. People are going to believe what they want to believe, and they're going to disbelieve what they dismiss. And to the people higher up, it serves the same purpose. It's telling the truth, 100% open disclosure, while also dealing with all the narratives they need to deal with and wrap them all up. By the time the public is fed up, they don't want to talk about it no more. There's still no arrests. Nobody's gotten in trouble, and they protected the real big fish while everybody in the public is just looking at all the Hollywood actors and actresses, not really realizing some of these people super at the top who were implicated in doing these activities. Meanwhile, the Epstein deal is only one tiny piece of the puzzle where this activity is going on at 100 other locations in the world that are not being talked about. So it serves their purpose to talk about Epstein and maximize exposure and do all that because 99 other child predation facilities are being ignored. That's my opinion. Total opinion. 2236 CIA, SAS, DOD, all that's my opinion. It's just my opinion. I got no facts.
Yeah. You have to corral everyone into a story that you can somewhat have control over.
Yeah,
and,
man.
Works
it's
really
sad.
well. Yeah.
It is sad. So yeah, I mean, you never know what me and you're going to talk about. Every time you come on here, man, we just take off, going different directions.
Yeah, dude.
You never know what we're going to talk about, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of left the empty space in my heart though, talking about Shiva shampoo. That wasn't you though. That was somebody in the chat did that.
Well, I think I brought it up because of his theory on Epstein, and that triggered it. But because he was the one that was saying, like, dude, everything that's about to happen with Epstein, he was right. You know, he was pointing to like that it's a controlled narrative that, you know, they're going to use to keep everybody focused. And man, but it is an interesting time that people are talking about these subjects. You know, it's like crazy kind of veil lifting. It's like they're trying to control the lifting of the veil, and they get everybody to open up to these ideas.
And please watch my video Friday.
Yes, sir.
This is all about apocalypse. I mean, I'll give you a little clue, man. I'm just going to tell you, man, the first seal was all about showing us that the pharmaceutical companies are really trying to kill us. Yeah. You know what I mean? The second seal was all about really showing the entire world that the whole immigration problem and all that violence is Jewish funded. That's all it was about. It's all about revealing revelations. It's all about unveiling. Apocalypse is to apocalyption, to pull the cover off. Mm-hmm. Listen, the third seal is going to be another major reveal. The fourth seal is another major reveal. The sixth seal reveals to the world what chronology we're on, what I've been telling the whole world for the past 25 years. The sixth seal, when the sun darkens and the moon turns red and people realize the Phoenix phenomenon is a real thing, they're all going to go, okay, well, now we have the accurate chronology. That's been revealed. Sixth seal. And the great revelation right after that is the one that involves everything David Icke's talking about. It's going to blow your mind, bro.
Cool.
It's going to blow your mind, man. I'll tell you, it all came to me in less than 60 seconds when I was just putting all this different data together, and I started reading about gamma radiation and what was found in the fossil record, and then come to find out all the radiomagnetic dating methods are total bullshit. Scientists know they're bullshit. They just throw them out there anyway, and that this shit happened in the dark ages. And I'm going through David Icke's quotes, and I'm looking at this. Wait a minute, man. How the hell did I miss this? And then I read one article about latent, dormant reptilian DNA sequences found in chicken DNA. And everything made sense. I know exactly what they're preparing for. I'm going to lay it all out for everybody. And at the end of my video, I'm always going to do the same thing I do every time I do a massive data dump. I'm going to ask my community, did I make my case? Simple as that.
Yeah. Oh, man. Cool, dude. Glad you're on the hunt. You're like a private investigator of,
man, it's
the past.
I could not do it. Good. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just can't. It's there's no way that I would be able to spend 3 or 4 days away from YouTube. You know, I release a video every other day, and I just can't do it, man. I'm always reading. I'm always finding out more shit, and I just got to drop it. Awesome. If I was to keep it all in, I'd just blow up. I'll just blow up.
So good, dude.
Yeah, man, so crazy.
If it's okay with you, I'm going to call my next workshop out here in LA. I'm going to call it Pattern Break.
Hell yeah, that's badass, man. Do it.
Cool.
You can send a few listeners my way. Pattern Break. I got that from Jason.
Yep.
It's a pattern break. Yeah, man. You can put you a good logo together.
Yeah.
That's the key. That's the key, though. Pattern Break is the key for everything. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, it is. I do a lot of it. You know, I make each day count, and I always do something to really make sure that I remember that this day by doing something that's not Groundhog's Day like, you know, because we kind of repeat day after day can feel the same. Mm-hmm. Unless something to bring some awareness to our patterns, to our habits, and our patterns and our habits can make us heavy and predictable. And if we get light and unpredictable, you know, so it's just like, that's why I like having conversations that can go in any direction and just go off on a tangent one way. And a lot of my hippie friends, we don't even ever finish conversations because they just bounce into some crazy idea, and then they can't finish their sentences because I'm interrupting them. And that's fun too. You don't even have to get to the end of the talks. You just keep it interesting.
When you're in that situation, you and that other individual, y'all are just resonating on the exact same frequency.
Yeah, exactly.
No doubt. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm gonna have to come down to Los Angeles, and then you can come with me, and we'll swoop down there on San Diego, man, and descend on the book tree. On the book tree. You and I can hang out at the beach.
Yeah.
People talk. Hey, I'll just set up a camera and a tripod, man. We'll just freestyle. Yeah. We'll just talk about people who don't even know they're being talked about on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, I just did that with Bear Lando. He brought his camera down to his beach house, and we just set it up outside and had a great talk with him.
Shoot, we can invite him too. I'd like to meet him in person.
He's amazing. Yeah, Bear's a really cool dude, and he's making some real. He's just like a wizard in his lab. He's working with gases and all these different ways to like synthesize. I don't even know how to explain it, but he's actually making products that are really well thought out, and they're health-based products for people, and a lot of knowledge there, man. He's like an alchemist.
Wow, yeah, he's a good dude, man. So is he and Mike Winter still doing videos together?
No, so Mike Winter left Alpha Vedic, and it's kind of a bummer, but it was time for him to. He only had a small percentage, I think, of involvement in the company, so I just don't think financially it was making sense for him to try to stay in that, and so I'm not totally sure that's the case, but they were a great podcast. So Bear Lando is now, rather than going live, he's interviewing people himself and then producing that through Alpha Vedic channel. So I was one of those people recently that he interviewed.
Okay. You know what? I need to invite him on my channel. Come talk about what's going on.
Yeah, he's so good. And then Mike Winter.
Big John, you heard that?
Yeah, and then Mike Winter is he's a website guy, and so he's available to reach out to if anybody really needs somebody that knows what they're doing, as far as getting your social media stuff dialed in, getting your website adjusted, stuff like that. He could use the work. So it'd be good to, if anybody's ready to launch their platform or something and wants some help with website stuff, Mike's the man.
Yeah, he's good. He's matter of fact, I've been seeing him in the underground.
Yeah.
I've seen his. He commented a lot. He was doing a bunch of stuff in the underground. So,
cool.
maybe that was my Telegram. Man, I'm in the underground. I'm in Cypher. I'm in Telegram. I'm on YouTube. I'm on X. I'm spread out, man. I lose track of where I see people.
Well, I sure hope Cypher's wrong about the Seahawks, man. My son is 21, and he's just gonna go crazy if we win, and I want to see it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was the swing on the season. The whole middle of the season, our predictability was off the chart. It was the swing. The beginning of the season, we don't even measure. The first 6-7 weeks, there's no measurable data.
Yeah.
So it's the swing. We nailed it, and then toward right before we started noticing some funny business. Then it got funnier in the championships, and now with the Super Bowl, you can't really go. All three of us went with the opposite of of Washington. So
or New England.
Now, hold on. You're going with New
Seahawks.
England?
It's Seahawks.
You're going to Washington Seahawks, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you said Washington Redskins, but yeah, Seattle Seahawks is.
You're going with Seattle. Okay, well, yeah. Well, we didn't see Seattle at all. No, okay. All three of us. But like I said, we have been seeing funny business these last 6 weeks. So it's I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely saw New England.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think it's gonna be a close one regardless. Both really good teams, and not that it's not rigged, but they still,
Well, I do have a prediction that I know for a fact will come true.
Okay.
Whoever wins, those Jews at the top are going to be making a whole lot of money. Whoever wins. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter who wins at this point, because it's, NFL scripted, man. And as long as it's scripted, it's money laundering. It's as simple as that.
Well, and
no way around it.
A lot of the gambling that's been hidden is coming out with the coaches and the NBA and stuff. People are getting they're in.
That was a huge college ball conspiracy involving 34 players.
Yeah,
man, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah, gambling's a real addiction. You think all these people have it made, but they're risking huge amounts of money all the time, and they can run into a series of bad luck. Or
I went to Vegas a few times, man, and did all. It's just not fun anymore, man, because once you start, what they haven't. they can't not treat it like a business. So when you go up to like in the Venetian Bet Center, you know, or when you go in, it's real nice. You know what I mean? So you go up to the booth and you lay your bets. When they look at your bet, you're turning it. You lay 7 bets and you're turning in 5 winners. You know, they kind of laugh it off. It's all cool. But when you do that 4 or 5 times in a 3 or 4 day period, now it's all straight face. They always got some manager coming back looking at the computers before they give you your payout, and they turn it into something very sterile. It's no longer fun. It's like, oh man, you guys got attitudes because I'm winning. This ain't even fucking your money.
Yeah.
This is a casino. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy, dude.
That's crazy. I've never gambled. I'm saving my luck for like someday when I'm really feeling ready.
Well, to prove the viability of the system and to work out some kinks, you know, we took huge risks.
Yeah,
we took huge risks. I had people that were there with me. We were laying $3,000, $4,000, and $5,000 bets on single games multiple times, and did this for days on end. And let me tell you, man, they do not like that shit at all. Yeah, man.
Yeah. I know a lot of numerologists get fucked with because they're doing all this numerology deciphering and they get really good at predicting. So a lot of numerologists are simulationists, you know, they see everything as it's all numbers. You know, so it's different ways to interpret stuff like gematria. Yeah, but it's interesting how I don't really understand how you came up with cipher, but it makes sense that within a simulation, there would be a way to decipher things, and that's cool. Decipher, is that why you call it cipher? I didn't realize that.
No, it used to be called opus until ran into a little legal stuff. Not actual legal, but potential.
Yeah,
because somebody tried to steal something, and I went ahead and changed it cipher, which is PSYFR.
Okay.
So it's close to like decipher something. But opus is the same. Opus is Greek. It means to see clearly.
Got it.
But yeah, it was crazy, man. I can give it to you in a nutshell without offending. We got 637 members in Cypher. They paid a lot to be in that group. It's not cheap to be in that group. It's because what we're doing. We've got app developers in there. We've got coders. We got programmers, man, that know their shit in that group, and they amaze me all the time. And then we got gamblers that are doing their things in different sports, and we got a lot of people in the financial markets. They're doing their own things, and we got a lot of people that are running personal and professional predictions that have nothing to do with gambling. So it's a lot of activity in there, and it's explosive. But in a nutshell, when I was in prison, I just had an idea. I said, well, if we have the physical world of perception is governed by these protocols we call physics constants, and they're based off 3.1416 and 1.618 and pi and phi. Mm-hmm. Well, when you multiply them together, you have curvature, which is 5.08. It's a moving curvature that never closes. So these three numbers in tandem together in many different species of analysis, by multiplying them, by dividing radius times perimeter, and all these different little formulas we can do in geometry. If the physics constants control everything in physical perceivable reality, why hasn't anybody applied the physics constants to events in the field that are similar in nature? And each numerical unit is a single turning of the stars a day, a shar. So I built a computer model based off shars, based off the turnings of the stars being one unit. And then instead of applying the physics constants and all their variants to physical things in reality, I apply them to events in the field that are very similar in nature. Okay. Because the physics constant should apply to time as they do space. That's all I did.
Wow.
So, and then other people smarter than me, because they are in the group. There are other people smarter than me, took it to a whole nother level, started making apps and algorithms and all kinds of operations, and it's blown up way farther than I ever anticipated. So sometimes I go into my own group a little intimidated. Hey, how you guys doing? What'd y'all find out now?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, bro. This has been great.
Me too, man. Thanks for having me on, and can't wait to see you out here on the coast.
Man, your whole backdrop. I have those things on my property too. All different kinds of like Reed and Bamboo, Shutters, Sun Deals and stuff. That's perfect for you. That's the first time I've seen you use that.
Yeah.
But it fits your personality perfectly, man.
Thanks,
Because
man. Yeah.
I could be live streaming with you, and if you told me you were in a Reed Hut in Tahiti, I wouldn't even be surprised.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you could be anywhere. I didn't even know you were in LA until you told me.
Yeah. I'm out here now. Cool,
crazy.
man.
So crazy. So okay.
Right,
next time I pop up into the field, it will be for my David Icke massive reveal on Friday, which I'm still preparing that video because I want it to go so smooth. Plus I also know a lot of people are going to be watching this, so it has to be absolutely right. And because I'm going to be asking my community, hey, I'm not telling you now, man, don't let me get away with anything. You let me know, did I make my case? Mm-hmm. So I always, anytime I do a major data drop, I always ask if I made my case. But that's wait. Friday. And then Saturday, I'm gonna have a special guest I've never had on the channel before. You ever heard of Library of the Untold?
No.
Me neither. So Big John, I checked him out on YouTube after Big John told me about it. But I have Library of the Untold coming on Saturday, cool. And yeah, man, I got some interesting things going on.
You always do, man. Good work, good channel.
Keep it up. Oh, you know my meetup's on the 20th. On February 20th. But you're gonna be at what event? What event was that? I read about.
Oh, no, I don't know. I thought I think I'm traveling. Yeah, so I'm chasing music. My favorite band, Kitchen Dwellers, is playing up here in California for 4 nights. So I'll be jumping from town to town through California that weekend.
Okay. So I saw somewhere on your itinerary somewhere that you were at some type of event.
Oh, Confluence is in Texas in April. It's April 22nd through the 28th, and that's Alex Zek, the Way Forward channel. You and him have talked. He has a podcast up in Austin that's in person. I think he's going to get you up there eventually.
Yeah, I think Big John talked to me about it or something. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I wasn't really excited about traveling to go be in somebody's podcast. I can do it from right here in my studio.
Yeah, he does it in person. That's his thing. But no, it's Confluence will be cool. A lot of people in the truther community will be there. Some really big names. Catherine Austin Fitz is going to be there. She's a more mainstream than what he usually has. But Danny,
what's the admissions?
Man, I don't know. I can't remember right now, but you can get 10% off through my link if you go to my channel or my Facebook.
Yeah, since it's right here in Texas, I'm not doing anything in April. I might as well just show up, but not as a speaker, but just to show up to hang around. Just come in here and hang around.
It's a good group of people, man. Highly recommend it. Yeah, since it's just down by San Antonio.
Okay, I got some friends out that way too.
Yeah, Ben Derrick. Sweet.
All right. Oh, Danny Katz is going to be there.
Yeah, she's always at those events. She's a powerful journalist, speaker, and then I think she's on the list this year. But Eileen McKissick, Topher Gardner, I think Mark Gober again. You should have Mark Gober on. He's written a series of amazing books. The End to Upside Down Medicine, The End to Upside Down Cosmology, The End to Upside Down Consciousness. He explores all these subjects really well. And he came out of Princeton and Yale and was like a total normie and like just gone through this totally intense transition into being able to study things on a level that, almost an academic is really good at, but then he's able to translate it into like just asking the question, what do we really know about anything?
Yeah, that's unique. That's unique because that's my criticism of academia.
Yeah.
Once you have gone through 4, 6, and 8 years of uniformitarian programming, how can I actually trust you to even understand what the questions are? You think you already have the answers. You know what I mean?
I know.
It's rare. Awesome, man. Awesome sauce. Something I'll think about. I'll check out April, see what's going on. I might get my my travel van and just
Yeah,
hit.
dude.
I might do that on the way somewhere else. Who knows?
Good for you, man. Yep. Cool. Good to
Who
see you,
knows?
dude.
All right, bro. It was good touching base. And hey, man, you give me Big John sometime when your schedule's free and here in the near future, and you want me to come on your channel. You're still doing videos on your channel, right?
Of course, yeah, yeah. I'll have you back on soon, and can't wait to get into some other subjects.
Yeah, man. We can talk about anything. All right, bro. I'll holler at you later.
All right, take care. See you, everyone. Much love.
Yeah, he's got good energy. Joel's got some good energy. Like him. I might go to that. I might go April just to hang around. I'm not expected to speak. I don't have to worry about bringing merch. I don't have to do any of that. I just be a spectator and go hang out and meet people. Who knows? I might come back with a whole list of people I'll invite to my channel. One never knows. And since I'm going to go way out to San Antonio, I may as well just keep on going to New Mexico. Let's see. All right. Yeah, guys, I'm pretty excited about Friday. I've had to eat a lot of crow lately. I mean, I'm very critical of things that are out there in the field that I feel that do not have merit or do not or not justified by the amount of information that we have access to today. I don't like cliffhangers. I don't like information. I don't like the ideas and theories being thrown out, and there's just nothing in the field that we can verify. You guys know this about me. It's my character trait. You know, when I put these data sets out, they are iron proof, and I'm going to make sure they're almost unassailable. And do this with the Atlantis narrative, do this with the Shard dating, on the Sumerian king list dating, all these different topics. But just like the zodiacal dating, the procession, the phenomenon of procession, these data sets, they have to be right, because I'm not trying to convince you. I am trying to get down to the absolute fundamentals of truth so we can go to the next level. And it seems like this method is working, because in the past 6 weeks, the amount of amazing badass drops that each one leads to the next. Once we close the door on something, it's no longer being theoretical, but demonstrable. We can move to the next level to see what's tenuous and what's not. And this is what happened after putting all this stuff together. After putting the Nemesis X timeline, the Zodiac, the Dark Ages, showing how all the dinosaurs and all the dinosaur footprints and all the human footprints and vehicle tracks are on the surface, while human architecture, human remains, and human artifacts are hundreds and sometimes thousands of feet below the ground. After going through the radiometric dating and understanding it's all bullshit, that uniformitarianism is all BS. Listen, these are all independent little threads, but they just got tied up. And what's so beautiful about what I'm going to show you guys on Friday is not only did all this Archaix data sets get tied up into one thread, but that thread absolutely shows us a tapestry of events since 2020 and why things have unfolded and what they're really preparing for, and how everything we've been told in the field is total bullshit. Why the masks? Why they're trying to normalize the masks? And they are coming back. Why this stuff was put in to those vaccines. Everything going out, everything happening in the field right now is rapid paced because an event is in the foreseeable future. My Archaix veterans know what it is. It's the return of Nemesis X. And we have so many different species of analysis that all show it's the year 2046. Remember, if something is true, you'll always be able to show it from multiple different vantage points, as we've done in Archaix already. So it's only new people that are going to be a little baffled. Only new people are going to be like, damn, man, how do you know for a fact that all this is going down on 2046? My community knows. And that's all I really care about. So others can go watch all those previous presentations. But this is what we're going to do. We're tying all this up on Friday. It's beautiful. And it just so happens that somebody I have been hypercritical of for different things, although I've praised him in the past because he deserves it, because he is responsible for my early education. I've read many of his books. I'm going to name and show those books as an intro to the video. But I've also been very critical because he's a uniformitarian to the core. He's still talking about things happening millions of years ago. Still talking about dinosaurs millions of years ago. Still talking about, the Soul Trap deal really turned me off. But other than that, that's just like 2 or 3% of his material. The other 97% of David Icke's material is genius. It's awesome. What I did not ever foresee was that these data sets that I have freely published to the public on my channel, much of the information in my books, I never would have foresaw this was going to come turning all the way back around to the original tenet of David Icke that I refused to believe in, and that was shape changers and that the elite are reptilian. Yeah, man, I never entertained it. I've never entertained it in the entire history of Archaix. You guys know that. Just not trying to hear it. But I have to eat crow because that's exactly where we're going in this presentation. Like I said, it's going to blow your mind. And I will holler at you guys later. You find it real good. What we're going to do here, find something to listen to. You know what? I think we'll close with a song. Well, with all kinds of stuff. What we talk about? We literally talked about all kinds of bullshit. I'll tell you what, we'll do this one. You know, I love you guys.
They called it all a joke, wearing tinfoil crowns like kings wrapped in smoke. Eyes wide open while the world stayed blind, laughed until the truth left us all